Good morning here in Sacramento. We are about to kick off another Kickstart This with some staples on the local scene. So we're here to talk about a new project that's already been fully funded. So you have nothing to lose by backing this. It is called Dead Blood. It is an homage to the 90s. And we have both David Andry and Christopher Alvarez here to join us and talk about the Kickstarter and how they got started, what brought them to this point. Welcome to the show, you two.
Hey, how's it going, Ben?
Hey, thank you very much.
Yes, no, I'm glad to have you both on here. David, we've talked to you quite a few times, but Christopher, I'm glad to finally have you here. We've had you at all of our major events. You've been there, so everyone will know you, but now they can get to know a little more about you here.
Awesome.
So Dead Blood is the title, and we're going to get to that in just a second. Since I haven't talked to Christopher, I'd like to find out just a little bit more about him, his art, what inspired him, what brought him to this point. So you are an artist and a writer. How long have you been doing this, Christopher?
More of an artist than a writer, but I'll take a little writing credit. As long as I can remember. I've been doing the self-published thing for more than a decade, maybe like 12 years, I think, since I really started going at it. And David and I have been together doing things for, I think, about 9 years now, 8 or 9 years. I've lost track, but somewhere around there. So we've been putting out books together for quite some time. I got started a long time ago. Grade school is when I really started drawing, but taking it seriously and publishing things independently, a little over a decade ago.
That's awesome. And you guys worked together on Ghost Thunder.
Yes, correct.
Which you guys put out a number of books through, as well as having, whenever you'd be there were prints and sketchbooks and other things that you would sell. And this project here that we're going to be talking about, how long has this one been in the works for you two?
This one started probably, it's been over a year, right, David?
Yeah, maybe. It was at Lodi Con, wasn't it? The first convention.
Yeah, Lodi last year.
Yeah,
and Lodi is coming up next month in just a couple of weeks, actually. So it's almost a year.
Yeah. Chris and I were talking, and he wanted to do we always want to work together, and we had done a couple of shorts. We did an anthology and some shorts for like a zine that Christopher put together. And I'm like, what do you want to work on next? We kind of felt like we started to get a little momentum, working together. And don't let Christopher undersell himself. He has pretty much read every word I've ever written and has always been the first editor on pretty much everything. So he officially has read more of my stuff than any other person on the planet. So
that's true.
So he's a very meticulous editor and has always helped me out with story and stuff.
That's good. You need somebody like that.
I mean, I especially because I am not, a grammar king or, thank God for spell check because it would be a hot mess without it. But we, I asked Christopher, what do you want to work on? He's like, I think a ghost story. I'm like, okay, cool. Ghost story. And, we brainstormed about that for a little bit. And I'm like, okay, what do you see about what kind of ghost story do you want to work on? And he's like, I want to do like kind of a sad relationship ghost story, which makes a lot of sense if you know what like my first books, my self-published stuff was all, sad relationship drama stuff. And I said, well, I was thinking of doing like a guy shooting ghost bullets out of a giant gun. And he said let's do that. And it kind of just morphed into this, our mutual love of 90s comics and kind of made it like if we were making a 90s comic today, in the 90s, if we were transported today back to the 90s, this is the kind of comic we would have made back then. So it's not a satire or a mocking of a 90s comic. It's a real, hey, this is what we think would be cool back then.
It is a 90s comic, yes.
Yes.
If you can pop that up on the screen for us so we can see what Dead Blood is, they'll get a feel for what we're talking about. I mean, first off, I love the hair and I love the stash. That is fantastic.
Thank you.
The big gun we can see there. So this is how it started. What ultimately did it become, and what can we expect from this Kickstarter that you guys are doing?
Well, we really got into it just even on that first day. We very quickly had the whole idea for this. Basically, we had the whole seed of the whole thing. We went home, we wrote, we got documents on this whole universe that we've created. And then David went ahead and wrote a couple of different script ideas of where we could take this thing, and I picked one of those and we went for that direction. But we've got a couple more already kind of in the can. I'm already starting to work on issue 2, but we're kind of thrown right into this universe. There's, like you see, there's big guns and big muscles, there's ghost guys, and it's a wild universe that we've created, and you kind of just get your toe in the water here. But there are little hints of a larger universe at play and how things operate.
Well, and like, when you're a kid, or at least younger, in the 90s collecting comics, you didn't always get a number 1, right? So I kind of put a couple of script ideas together in a way that if you picked up number 2, you would still understand as much as you understand in number 1. You kind of jump in, further down on the series and kind of get what is the whole gist of it pretty quickly. And that was kind of the cool thing about comics then, is you just like picked up an issue and started reading, and you would have something. There would be something satisfying in every issue that you read. Some kind of action, some kind of like adventure, something happened, something cool. So we wanted that too. So
they're technically, are they technically standalone? But
they're not technically standalone, but you can read them as standalone.
Okay, cool.
So they each has an adventure in it, but it's building to something bigger. There's in a lot of the 90s books, right? You started with like a team book, and then it became more of an individual book, or an individual book, and they crossed over with the team. And so we're going to kind of build a Team Dead Blood kind of a thing as we go through the next couple of issues.
That would be amazing if you had a crossover with a book that didn't exist.
Hey, yeah. I like that idea a lot.
From the pages of whatever. Yeah. And it's like, where did I find that comic?
That's fantastic.
So that's great. I love that you're doing it where they can pick up any issue, because that's one of the things that I miss in comics, because nowadays there's the whole mentality of I have to have number 1. I have to start at number 1. You can't just pick one up. But yeah, we used to do that all the time. It was whatever happened to be on the shelf.
Right.
That's super fun. So, well, great. So let's talk about who you have involved here, because you brought in a nice little all-star cast to get involved on this book too.
Yeah, I'll say. David and I, did the writing and the art, but then we got Bruno Furlani on colors. You can see him on the screen right there. He just, man, he blew us away with what his work on this issue. It just brought a whole new level of energy and life to my inks that I've never seen, and it really gives it the big, bold, like bombastic look of the 90s, but modernized.
Yeah, it's more of a modern like color palette. Like it's not so much primary colors, and he really just added a ton of textures and stuff to the background. So again, it's kind of like you're taking what we do now and transporting it back to, if this was done in the 90s, this is what it would look like. And because that was one of the things that really struck me when you started to pick up those first Image comics. They had better paper, they had better color. They did digital color, it was brighter. It wasn't the newsprint anymore. So we really wanted to have that level of vibrancy. But you can see, like on the page where that's up right now, that there's ton of interesting stuff going on in the background that they couldn't conceive of in the 90s, but that Bruno really just destroyed these pages, just made them look amazing.
Yeah, I agree. And we got Micah Myers on lettering, and Micah's on, it seems like every other book on the stands right now. I mean, he is just everywhere. So we got really lucky. I keep telling everybody that it just adds this level of professionalism to the book, and it's totally true. Micah does a wonderful job. Picked out like the perfect font. All the bubbles are exactly where they should be. So yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, and then we got Adam Cahoon.
Yep, that's what I was just going to say. Because David and I did the main story, which is a 18-page story, and then we've got a 6-page backup. If you scroll up a little bit, you'll see Adam's page.
Keep going.
Adam, keep going. It's the keep going. That one
right there.
That's a page by Adam Cahoon, and that's a story in Cull's past. Cull is our main protagonist, and so we kind of gave him a sports background. Plays a sport called all ball that David actually wrote out all the rules for, believe it or not. So we've gone deep into this thing. And then Adam took that and ran with it, and he kind of did his own scripting on it and had Matt Harding do the colors. It's awesome. It's so good. So I think we got a really great package.
Yeah, Adam is doing covers for the Vault comic The Nasty right now, and on issue 3 he takes over on interiors. So everyone's going to be very familiar with Adam soon, because that book is doing really well, super popular, and his covers, and what he also started doing that series is do all the backgrounds, and it takes place in a video store. So you can imagine the background of a video store is pretty extensive. So him and the writer John Lees made a bunch of fake movie titles, and it's hilarious. It's worth reading that book just for the backgrounds alone.
Reading the background.
And so Adam also has he did a illustration of the main bad guy in the first issue, and we're using that as an alternate cover too that you can get as part of the Kickstarter.
Okay, sweet. Well, then, as long as we're going there, we've got 18 pages of your book, 6 pages of the backup story. Tell us about the Kickstarter. What can they expect? What levels? I mean, you've already reached your goal, which is great. So everybody knows they're going to get this book in hand.
Right. Yeah. Well, go ahead, David.
We got, we're going to do a standard main cover. Then you see right there, Adam's alternate cover that you can get. And we're going to do a foil or chromium version of the main cover. Because it's a 90s, you got to do some kind of shiny cover.
Gotcha.
There's a digital version, and then there's just packages. There's a couple of pinups that are going to be in the comic too. But basically just a main cover, a variant cover, and a super shiny cover.
Sweet.
Yeah. And then Chris, that's the ash can that we put out before with some preview pages, and Christopher has some that he did original illustrations on the cover that are part of one of the tiers too.
Oh, that's fantastic. So I was going to ask about original art. Is it so that comes with the ash can?
Yeah. Well, we did. I think I put 10 of the ash cans up. I think there might be some available still, and then I did 2 of commission rewards, which were already gone in the first day. So I'm thinking of adding maybe a couple of more original commissions as well.
Okay, sweet. Now, since you've passed the goal, have you planned anything else? Like, you're going to be adding some stuff for some people. Is there anything else that you think you might want to do with this, or keep it the way it is for now?
We talked about doing stickers, maybe adding some stickers on there.
Sweet.
Yeah. I mean, the main thing is
simple. I think a lot of this, the pinups, it's going to, some of the extra fundage is going to the pinups too. But I think a lot of this is just so we can keep rolling it over to issue 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already scripted and laid out, and I'm already penciling some of the pages. So we're keeping it moving.
I like that. Actually, I like that as an extended reward. It means that they will actually get a number 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Anything that we make from number 1, that doesn't go into printing costs or to the, the creative team that has already been paid, we can roll into number 2 and get started on, number 2 immediately. And then probably do another Kickstarter for that and then roll it into number 3, hopefully, and keep the Dead Blood train rolling.
Dead Blood train. Nice. That's awesome. Well, good. How much time do they have left to pledge? Not that I want you guys to wait. Anyone watching this, you need to just go over there immediately and pick up a physical copy for yourself. But how much longer do they have to recommend it to people?
I think we're at 18 days. Oh, 17 days.
Yeah. A couple more weeks.
More weeks. Yeah. And I'm trying to do some updates. We had an update with an art process post, and I've got a couple more in the queue that we're going to be putting out. Just kind of fun behind the scenes stuff that maybe you wouldn't see otherwise.
That's awesome. So is there anywhere that they can see you guys coming up? Because will you be at LodiCon?
We will be at Lodi. Yeah. That's the 7th of next month, I believe.
It is. Yes. Right after Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Outside of this, what else do you guys have planned? Are you working on anything else at the moment?
David is. This for me is taking everything, which is in a good way. I'm giving everything, I should say. But David's always got 100 irons in the fire.
And I guess that was a silly question for you because you've already told me you're already moving on to number 2.
Yeah,
so, that's all right. Yeah,
and Christopher has a one-page anthology coming up too, right?
That's right. Yeah, I do. That Kickstarter launches later in the month too, so you'll hear all about that soon.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Well, of course, follow him, and then when I find out that it's up, we'll do some posts for you guys as well. David, what about you? Can you keep it to like 10 projects?
Well, I can keep it to the ones that are announced, which is 2.
All right, let's do
so
it.
Go pick up End After End on the shelves right now. Go pick up Nightfall double feature. My story in there is called Denizen, and both of those are ongoing right now. The first trade for End After End should be hitting for trade waiters, should hit the stores within the next couple of weeks. I think I got shipping confirmation that my comps are coming in, so that usually means it's coming out to comic shops. So pick up the first trade of End After End, and then there's 5 more issues. Issue 6, just came out like 2 weeks ago or last week. Mm-hmm. And it's really, I really love the last half of this series. It's one of my favorite things I've ever written, and the ending is definitely my favorite ending that we've ever come up with. So pick up End After End and then Nightfall double feature. Both those are available now. Nightfall has 1 more issue to go, but the first 3 are still, I think, available to order via Diamond if you haven't picked them up or if they're not in shops.
And somebody was mentioning Resonant, which we can't disregard. It's on the shelves right now in trade format, so people should pick that up as well.
Yeah, definitely pick up Resonant. You'll be on it before it's turned into a TV show, which is still hopefully happening.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, that stuff takes forever.
Yeah, there's a writer strike looming, so who knows what's going to happen. But it is in kind of a further stage of production. So there actually is, it's not just optioned, which happens a lot. It's actually in a further on stage of production. So
excellent.
Hopefully within the next couple of years, you'll see Resonant on your TV screen.
Oh, that would be so wonderful. God, that would be good. But everyone pick those up. But more importantly, right now, this moment, go to Kickstarter, pick up the copy. Can we get a link to the Kickstarter one more time up there? And then we can send everybody over. Head on over. Oh wait, what's this? Oh, this is it. Sorry, my glasses. Head on over to the Kickstarter, or just type in Dead Blood Kickstarter. It comes right up. Take a peek at what they have to offer. Pledge. Pick up a physical copy. What do you got to lose? These guys already got it in the bag. It's done. It'll be in your hands in no time. And thank you very much, you two. Thank you for joining me this morning. And I cannot wait to get my hands on a copy.
Thanks a lot,
Yeah,
man.
thanks so much for having us, Ben. This was awesome. I appreciate it.
Yes, of course. Anytime you guys are doing something, please let me know. We'd love to share it with everybody. So you guys enjoy this beautiful day in Sacramento, or stay inside and write and draw.
Yeah.
Probably, and I will see you guys in the shop.
Excellent.